Yo, welcome back to Stuff or Whatever podcast. BQuanchi here. Welcome back to the channel. So we have a very special podcast this week, but before I get started, I always like to say the best way to support me in the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow all that jazz. I do have links in the descriptions, but the three main ones are, of course, YouTube, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, for updates and other fun tweets. And on Twitch, where I do stream gaming and all that, and those get uploaded back to YouTube as VOD. So it's all in one place on YouTube in terms of all that jazz, because I also do, of course, this little solo podcast, which no one really listens to, but oh well. And other Let's Play stuff, and I do want to do more stuff like more game reviews and commentary, so I have stuff in the works, but I have to actually do it, which I know it's kind of hard to find the motivation. Sometimes it can be a little draining to get it done, especially with like recording. I'm bad, even though some of the stuff I've been like writing out, but even like reading out loud, I have so much trouble with it, with issues with speech therapy as a kid. But I think just doing this helps anyway. So if anyone like does this as a hobby, even as like a small tuber or creator, whatever you want to call it, it's practice. It's something. So in the day, I enjoy it, even though I have no full time job outside of it and other stuff to worry about. But and maybe someday, I keep telling myself, just kind of like the what is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So maybe that this is just documenting my fall or whatever into insanity. But also updates on the channel too. For the Let's Play stuff, called just BQuanchi gameplay. I'm doing two uploads a week for December. I might keep that permanently because sometimes I like record stuff and kind of like builds up. I'm definitely gonna do back to one a week in January, just 'cause I know that like YouTube is kind of like slow on ads and like got a good month to be active after holidays. But I'm still gonna put usual stuff like stream VODs and stuff like that. Although I have some time off, I have planned for a little small vacation. But yeah, I have stuff that we need to eventually put up on our channel. I actually do. One thing I want to talk about because I do. I might have to do more of it, but I did a video where I just get a lot of AI art, usually based on a character. I said usually, but that's the case. I did one for Bowser and one from Donkey Kong for the Super Mario series. And I just would do prompts, kind of build up a gallery and just kind of react to it. Even though it's stuff I've seen, it's kind of like more critiquing and criticizing. And I know like AI art can be a huge divisive subject matter. I but most part if you ever watch those videos, like it's on the channel. I I think I need to make a playlist. I'm not sure. I'll definitely put one out because I have one coming out on Christmas Day. It's another video game character outside of Super Mario, and he had a recent big movie this year. So that's the only hint I'm going to drop. But yeah, I also mentioned that because I'm not sure how true this is. Is some AI art programs or whatever almost going backwards in a sense because there's so much bad AI art out there. Instead of getting better, it's getting worse. But I don't know. Sometimes I see some really good, convincing ones. Well, of course, a lot of bad ones too. But I know the joke is like dead. It's been dead. But all the like the Pixar movie ones where they do something with AI, I feel like those look for the most part pretty good. But I'm not sure if people who like do prompts have to like really put a lot of detail in the prompt and explain this and explain that, or if they just like clean up the AI art. Because I think like some what was the one? It was like like it looked like a schoolgirl with a sword cutting up like a dinosaur lizard creature or something that got a lot of criticism and stuff like that too. It's interesting. I'm not sure what other AI art programs are there because I just saw one on Twitter about like I guess Steven art. It has one like Dream Something. I just played around mostly with the one on Bing, which I think is Dolly 3. I look forward to that. It is just like fun to like poke fun of it, but there's some cool stuff. Like I say in my videos too, my consensus is that I would rather have someone else do it and do it right because I like almost always find some imperfection or something that just ruins the art for me. But yeah, it's like fun slideshow. I even attempted to do a side, maybe like Twitter account or X, whatever I call it, just to re-upload the pictures, just so it's not like in the YouTube video. So if people want to see them, uh, uh, I just don't think it's like worth the effort unless there was like demand for that. But there's some stupid channel stuff. The next thing I wanted to talk about on this podcast is, I guess, for lack of a better word, whitewashing to get views. So I saw this on X, a post. I'm not familiar with the creator, but I it's kind of crazy to think about. Maybe not too crazy, but basically they're pointing out that I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause, I checked the channel a little bit, a little light research, but on a Twitch stream, the creator is Just Relax Kid, and it showed a post. They kind of scroll down their recent broadcast, and the creator is a black guy, and usually he's on a face cam or whatever. All that. And then he mentioned like when he changed up the format to get rid of the face cam and instead had like a PNG of a white guy, like some white guy with glasses and a beard, kind of like some general simple art. It's a simple PNG. The views increased so much and it's crazy. Um, like I even wrote down some notes about it because it's a small sample, a few videos, but like a lot of his videos that because with the podcast with Twitch, you can see like him in a corner, the actual physical person, and like a lot of the few like recent streams that had him on camera had less than 500 views per broadcast. The only one was Dragon Ball Fighters that had 900 roughly. And then when you look at the ones that put the white PNG guy, like the black guy's off camera, off stream. Even though it's him, of course, streaming, but visually he's off. Um, he got a whole lot more views. The lowest one was, I believe, it's like a My Hero Academia fighting game that got 1,800, so twice as much as that Dragon Ball Fighters. And then he also did another broadcast doing Fighters, but instead of him, a black guy on camera, it's the white guy PNG. That got over 23,000 views for that broadcast, and it's crazy. I'm not sure if that's like a Twitch thing. I don't. I kind of glanced at his YouTube channel. I don't think he like straight uploads VODs, or maybe he does things with it. So it looks like he was just kind of like maybe like an experiment with Twitch. But it's like crazy how the views are. I'm not sure if that's like Twitch like recommending stuff or just people who search like, oh, I want to see Dragon Ball Fighter. Someone play that on stream. Like I'd rather do this channel because it's a white guy versus this channel who's a black guy. So I'm not sure if that's like the internet thing. I'm not sure if that's like algorithms with the Twitch platform. But it kind of really makes me think, and it's like crazy. Like no, I said it before. I'm just like the whitest guy out there. Um, and even though I have my like little avatar, my little bear character and stuff like that, which I kind of want to talk about a little bit too. Uh, but it's kind of like we do think about is like people going to make assumptions about, should I watch this creator if he's white, if he's black, if he's person of color in any other way, or if it's a female versus a male playing the same content, like the same video game, for example. And it's just kind of almost crazy to think about, like you had to worry about, you know, who you are in a sense, um, on the outside for people to even pay attention to what you have to say or anything as a creator. I guess that's maybe a good reason why a lot of people do like the VTubers or the PNG tubers and stuff like that that make like some crazy characters or even that'd be like anime or furry or whatever. It's all good to me, but it's kind of like maybe that's why people lean towards that more, where people make more judgments on the character versus the person, the actual person behind the microphone. That's kind of like hidden from view. It's almost kind of like the Wizard of Oz, like don't look behind the curtain kind of thing. Yeah, because with my channel, I had this. I really like what I have on a channel. This bear character. I came up with like an extremely rough concept because I'm no artist, and I had someone commission it, and I really love it. It's like if me and Winnie the Pooh had a love child. But with it, even though I'm a white guy, I wanted to do the brown color because I like grizzly bears more and stuff like that. So I didn't even think too much. I find it with really wanting to have the red shirt and the kind of like a denim hat, trucker hat with a rainbow pride symbol on it. I really like that, and I just jumped on brown because that felt good. Could easily done like a polar bear and because white polar bear, white bear, I'm white kind of thing. So I'm not sure if people like look at my profile pic for my channel, would be on YouTube, Twitch, or X, Twitter. Think, oh, maybe he's a person of color or whatever. It feels weird to even worry about. Which I don't know if you would say like worry, but you kind of like think like, would my channel perform better if the art was different? But also like, um, a few videos like the AI art ones I do, critiquing those art generations. I do a little face cam in the corner. I don't do face cam very often just because I rely on my laptop's built-in one, and it's okay. Like if I had a better one, a better setup to manage it better, I might be more tempted. But also, I kind of like having a clean screen for streaming. If I want to capture, save the footage for like game reviews or video essays and stuff like that. Plus, I have my Instagram. Like, I don't do too many selfies, like on Twitter, X. Um, I tend to do occasionally, but mostly on Instagram. So I can't like say like, oh, I'm a person of color, but I'm obviously not. People can easily check that. But it also makes me kind of think like if people like use their 2D art or whatever, whether they do it themselves or commission it, to be like a certain character or a certain person, like maybe a white person, having a black avatar, and then they can get away with saying like maybe certain slang words that may not be so cool if a white person said it. So I wonder, even like people on like X Twitter, have whatever profile pic, and then they drop some n bombs and stuff like that. Like, what could it be really be like a white person behind just wanting to drop that just because they can, because they have the appearance that they're black or whatever. It just seems kind of weird and crazy when you think about it. Like, and then it's always been like that too. Like, you never know who's behind the screen. I think just because we have cameras on our phone, like to be recognized. Like, I think there's always that small like, I want to be famous on internet thing. So people, when it comes to like TikToks or YouTube or Twitch, whatever, people want to show themselves because they want to be recognized. Yeah. So a lot of people don't, but it feels like for the most part, you're seeing the actual person. So, but I wonder if people like make side accounts, made additional accounts. Other than, like, people might be able to recognize voices too, or maybe like think, oh, is that really a black guy's voice, or is that really a white person's voice? Because again, looking at the numbers for that channel, the Just Relax Kid, it just kind of blew my mind, like how high of view count he got on those Twitch broadcasts, just because there's not a black guy on camera. There's actually a plain, I think it's just like a plain 2D PNG, so nothing like animated or anything really special. I didn't really watch the footage, but I just think it was interesting to know. And for this podcast, for the thumbnail, I did edit it so it's white, like a white polar bear. Though it's a very poor job. I almost kind of like it. It almost looks like a brown bear, like covering himself with white paint or something. Maybe a little bit better than that, but that's why the thumbnail's that different for this week. I don't think, because if I did change it, I would have to pay, but to get recommissioned or redrawn or redone, because I'm not. Basically, the thumbnail you see is the best I can get it with my skill. But I didn't redo the video. I do have the bear on the video as the static image and stuff like that. So I feel like if it's gonna be that sloppy, I'm not gonna um, put the time in to put it in the uh, video format of this. Even though there's not really much to it, it's just like, eh. But I just thought that that's this crazy idea to think about, like, hey, um, if presenting yourself as a white person, whether you do like a VTuber, PNG tuber, or whatever, could that be more lead to more success, more attention, more views as a content creator, streamer, whatever you want to call it? So I just thought that was kind of interesting. and something I wanted to talk about this week. So the next thing I want to talk about is a little news about this beverage called Liquid Death. The news is a little bit old, but basically, they had a name for. They have a bunch of flavors. It's like I believe it's sparkling water or something like that. I'm not too fan of those kind of beverages, but I'm aware of the brand. I think they have like cool art on the can and stuff like that. But one of the flavors is called Harmless Palmer, and basically it's half and half of lemonade and iced tea. I'm gonna play on that drink, Arnold Palmer, same thing, except it's a carbonated what sparkling water or whatever. So I guess they had to change the name of it because they're getting threats of lawsuits from the estate of Arnold, Arnold Palmer, if I can say that right. Because I'm trying to think how far, long ago he died, but he was like a golfer. But the big thing about having that beverage, I forget who makes it, but a lot of people know what that drink is, like half lemonade, half iced tea, and all that. But they're saying because they used the word Palmer in the drink, they were gonna like sue and stuff like that. So instead of dealing with that, they just changed the name of the flavor and called it a Dead Billionaire, which I think it's hilarious. And I think it's a bit better name as well because Armless Palmer sounds kind of lame. I haven't looked through too much of their flavors and all that, but I think it's like kind of like death, like he does a skull in the can and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of a theme to it. But I think Dead Billionaire is a lot funnier, and I think it just brings so much attention now too. Like people, oh yeah, and also kind of like when it comes to the estate of Arnold Palmer, it just kind of feels very lame. Like I don't know, with golfer, just that there was that drink. And kind of like, well, these people are like being selfish or trying to sue or being controlling and stuff like that, which I'm not sure if that would hold up if they did try to sue because the username Palmer. There's kind of maybe you can argue that it's a beverage, it's a similar flavor with lemonade and iced tea. So I could possibly see the state actually winning and suing Liquid Death. It's a little bit of stretch, but I think they did the right thing is to just change it. But I think it's just hilarious, like Dead Billionaire. That's like a good deep cut, and I just think the whole thing's hilarious. And if anyone haven't heard that, I know it's kind of made around, but I just think that's funny. Like when a state for a dead celebrity does like pulls this bullshit, and then they get around it, and they look bad and all that. So it kind of like sucks for his legacy, which I don't know too much about for Arnold Palmer, but a funny story I wanted to talk about. And the next thing I want to talk about is free speech on X Twitter. Nothing really like groundbreaking to talk about, just kind of like me ranting and complaining and stuff like that. Just in general, because the big guy Elon Musk always like is a proponent for free speech, and I know there's a lot of recent things lately with like advertisers dropping off, a lot of major ones, including like Disney and Apple and all that. Which I think that's also being handled poorly by Elon because that's the big thing is like you want people to advertise. Like I would be to joke that it's almost going to get to the point that you can go on X without ads without paying for X premium. But of course, there's always going to be ads somewhere. But that's like where they get the money. Although I'm not sure how much money they make off the premium. I know there's a higher tier that might put you on the wait list for the Gronk AI, whatever. It always feels like not taking money from these advertisers or like it is a lot of like current events that I don't feel like I'm quite the source to really discuss about, especially in other parts of the world. So it's not my forte to really discuss, but I think that's been a big part of it too. But I always have to roll my eyes when it comes to like Elon talking about free speech on Twitter because see accounts get the I think like suspended or I should ban or whatever, just like canceled or whatever. Um, and there's a whole lot of reasons for it, but I think the big thing with free speech is that you just can't have 100% free speech. Uh, it just can't be a thing. I know it's like it's a amendment, and you know it's something that definitely should be protected and all that. But there's a lot of things like, hey, you can't say or do because there's like laws. There's huge impacts, and of course, there's always the court of public opinion. But then if you straight out lying or saying like false information, whether it's towards an individual, a company, or just straight out information that could be harmful, like that's why there's laws about libel or slander. Like if you say false information, uh, like this person, like Elon Musk did this when he didn't, especially if it's like maybe accusing you of crimes or something. I'm not going to say too much in terms of examples, but can't just like, oh, that's just my freedom of speech. Like I was using blatant slander or libel. I was blatantly doing misinformation. Like, hey, chugging bleach can cure the flu, cure cancer, and then like, yeah, people can get in serious trouble for that because that misinformation can harm somebody. Even like bullying and stuff like that too. I know that's always been a big thing. Like with like students in high school bullying somebody and then they do something unfortunate to themselves and it's like, oh, like what they say towards somebody, whether it be bullying and stuff like that too. It's like, yeah, there's so much you can't say. And of course, like those platforms have their policies or uh I forget the layman's term for that, like not the, like the terms commission terms and conditions, but about something like that, like, hey, you can't show this explicit material or racist, hateful stuff like that. You can't like spout about the racism, and then if your account gets suspended, you can't like, oh, I was just using my freedom of speech. Like even other examples too. Again, not an expert to like recount all the events and details, but like the whole Alex Jones and Sandy Hook thing, like saying they were it was fake or it was fake actors, and then he can't like go. I know he's getting sued for a lot of money that he has to pay out, but he can't go to like the judge and say, "I would just use my freedom of speech." Like maybe it was wrong information, but I have freedom of speech. Like no, that does damage. That messes with people. I think one thing I kind of like roll my eyes with it too, because with X Twitter, there's been very few times. I'm not like too like cursey kind of guy or use excessive curse words, but I think like a few times like calling someone a bitch, and then like there's a little prompt. Let me even drop like the f bomb once in a while, like a busy pop, well delivered f bomb. Was like, not many users post like this. Are you sure that's right? Like, and it's like basically like it's flagging for inappropriate context. Like, no, upstairs don't really curse like that. It just depends on the context as well. Like, if it comes off more like an insult or something like that, like, okay, we're gonna hide it and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of hiding, impacting free speech if you're gonna affect my visibility. But then again, complain of visibility on Twitter, X, whatever. If you don't pay for it, I don't know. It's like you don't have much in the first place unless you're a big, have a big following. But I don't know if anyone else feels that way too. But uh, yeah, I just think it's basically an eye roll when someone like promotes say there's the huge warrior for free speech and a lot of things they do or the platform does can be counterproductive. And then again, going back to the reality of the situation is that you can't have 100% free speech. You can't um, give false information that's harmful. You can't slander someone's reputation and backtrack on it. It's like, oh no, that was just free speech. Like you can't sue me because I was just using my free speech, even though I was doing blatantly wrong information. So that it just doesn't work. You can't have 100% free speech, but it definitely is important and all that. So the next thing I want to talk about on this podcast is a channel I kind of fell into that I really enjoy called Very Tall Bart. I would say it's definitely arguably a YouTube poop channel, and they do a lot of stuff from like PragerU and all those right ring people. Like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson's a big one. He uses a lot, and keep getting his name. Something Prager, the guy head of PragerU. I just know all this kind of with like their fart shide. I keep speaking of his edit, like he keeps saying that he's penis Prager, but it's not his name. Is Dennis? I'm not sure. But the white guy with glasses, it's such a funny job. I almost crack up laughing every time if you upload. So I do recommend it. Again, it might have certain bias or views in terms of who they poked fun of, especially a lot of it's like the trigger you people. It's just like almost crazy how like, you can manipulate the audio to make them say certain things, and then other stuff too, like some TV shows and animation. Like there's some really good one game show ones featuring Steve Harvey, Family Feud, and there's like one with BoJack Horseman. There's one with Seinfeld and all that. And so he even gets like AI voices and kind of makes his own like little story and stuff like that. But I feel like when I was watching a bunch of the videos when I discovered the channel, I was laughing so hard, like laughing out loud. I couldn't help it. But yeah, I do recommend if you need good YouTube poop material. He also does some cool videos where he like reacts to a good handful of them and kind of explain the process, like what he was thinking with this joke and stuff like that too. So I kind of like that aspect as well. Usually when with YouTube poops with the silly edits and stuff like that, you just like see the video and that's pretty much it. But kind of like, oh, there's actual real person behind it. It has like a certain way of thinking of how they execute certain jokes or edits and stuff like that. Because some of it is just like really stupid and silly, and some of it is just like hilarious, funny, like they're actually saying these outlandish, out absurd things. But a lot of the Jordan Peterson ones are hilarious as well. But I do recommend if you don't mind those people getting poked fun of, or if you poke fun of those trigger you people yourself, I do recommend Very Tall Bart is a very good YouTube channel. And then another thing I want to kind of talk about is I feel weird because I'm like small, but that big video that came out, was it last week or I forget? I just got around to like watching it early in the week, by H Bomber guy, and yeah, it's basically about plagiarism on YouTube. And I thought it was very insightful. It's like a 4 hour watch. So sometimes it's like those can be a little intimidating to sit down and watch. A lot of channels like Sim Massacre, whatever that chick that does the Illuminati character, um, internet historian and stuff like that. And the big one was James Summerter, or I forget his name, but he did almost half the videos about him. But it's just like crazy, like how a lot of people like plagiarize or they barely change the language, and pretty much the video is just like them reading articles or um, summarizing, almost like word for word, like documentary from like Netflix or Hulu. So it's really interesting stuff, and I don't know. Sometimes you just kind of like sit there, like your brain diffusing, thinking like these people have thousands upon thousands of followers, subscribers, and they get make thousands and thousands of dollars each month just for like copying. Like, sure, they do a good job reading the material um, and changing just a few words for the most part. Uh, but like, people get this success, and you just like, I guess it takes some effort to read in front of a camera and all that, but it's like Uh, yeah, and it's like even crazy, like they how they respond to the accusations, like, "Oh, we never plagiarized," and then it's almost kind of like repeating the story, like taking down videos, editing them, and re-uploading them a few times. Especially with the James guy, um, who's some gay guy in Canada, and I think what's really important, what a good takeaway from H-Rob's video is like some of his major ones that James did was like about Disney and queer represent. I think that's a big thing with the channel is like queer representation and like Hollywood and Disney and horror films and stuff like that. So I think a lot of subject matter is interesting, but if they're taking it directly from a book, I forget like the evil queens of Disney. I'm bad at. There was like a cellular closet, but I'm kind like pretty much just look for the book. And I know like sometimes when it comes to consuming media, you rather like have a video uh, versus reading through a book. So I guess that's at least something like someone's reading it for you, pretty much. But it's like they're reading it for you, but they're claiming that it's their work and all that. So like again, I think it's crazy like people who rip other things off. It even makes me think because there was another one. I forget the name, but had a lot of issues with plagiarizing for like game reviews, like copying people regarding like reviewing like video game stuff and all that. I forget the. I know he had like a small gig with IGN, but when he got called out, he lost that. And that one makes you think too. Like I don't do anything that really like cite information. I don't like cover too much, but I kind of want to do more video game essays, and a lot of them are more my opinions. I got a few that I really want to do. I just actually do it. Uh, but the only thing I like would probably like refer it in terms of like research is like when this game came out, who worked on it, so general information. So it feels like nothing that I'm like plagiarizing, especially since a lot of times I just like type up my own stuff. But something like check a game review and like, oh, okay, I want to talk about these mechanics and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be interesting. But again, I'm a small channel that no one really cares and notices about. But I thought that interesting. Like, I just also watched his video he did last year with the oof sound from Roblox, and that was a very interesting one too. So I highly recommend those videos if you have a lot of time and just want to learn about those things. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up this little podcast this week. I'm just thinking of the little thumbnail I put together because I usually have straightforward thumbnails. Just kind of keep it simple, stupid kind of thing. Just kiss it. But I'm gonna change it, and not sure if it's gonna have any reactions or any difference in terms of performance. Going back to like I said, that one channel, just relax kid, especially how his Twitch analytics, his performance change as soon as you don't see a black on camera and you see a white face guy as a PNG. But yeah, let me know. I probably will take a little break from the podcast because sometimes there's not too much to talk about if it's just myself, and who knows, it's this get putting some ideas out there. But I think I have more fun streaming, or if I eventually do more game reviews or game commentary stuff, it's like I have the thoughts in my head. I just have to but make the effort to write it out, plan out. Recording is the biggest challenge for me, honestly. But anyways, that will do it for this week. So y'all take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye.